Hello.
Hi, Mr. Freeman. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey,
Good.
how are you?
I'm perfect. I'm perfect. And you, if you are not in a very tight situation, could you please put on your camera so that
Wait, are we the only two people on the live now?
for now I think on YouTube there are three people already streaming. So we start. I just need to notify people that we've started. But I don't know. I don't know if you are still watching the football,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I'm watching.
yeah, I intend to make some introduction. So if maybe you are still watching that, maybe you can continue watching that. Then I'll do some small introduction, and some few talking for some 10-15 minutes, then we can also engage the audience. So I don't know if you want to continue with that, or if you want to stay,
Yeah,
that is also fine with you.
yeah. I mean, you can notify. I can. Yeah, you can notify me when you are almost done.
Sure, I'll just text you when I'm done, and then you can join. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hello everyone. If you can hear me, type something in the chats. Say hello, hi. If you can hear me, say something. But from the look of things, I think I'm live, and it's working now. So welcome today to my first live session. We I planned this to be able to answer all the questions that people have always had, because I received so many questions ever since I started the ever since I started my study abroad scholarship and videos. I've received so many questions about how to study abroad, what are the things to do. But I've always wanted to to make a live session so that if there's any questions that people want to ask, I'll be able to answer. Apart from that, I've also invited people who have studied abroad, people who have also gone through the process, so that they can share their experience with you. They can share various experiences. They will also give you some tips on the important things to note whilst you study abroad. Because I know that so many people want to study abroad, but how do you do it in the right way? So I have these people who will join very soon to share their experiences when they were studying abroad, or what are the tips that they can give. So before we go, I would like to make a bit of introduction and a bit of presentation so that yeah, yeah. So I have Mr. Ofori here. It's been a while, huh? Can you hear? I can hear you. Check your audio, maybe. Okay.
Think I have to connect.
Hope you can hear me now. I can also hear you, I
Yes,
think.
I can hear you now. Clearly. Um,
Great.
so we started. So welcome, Sami. To okay. So welcome, Sami. For the next 10 minutes, I want to do a bit of introduction, a bit of talk, to the audience, to the people who are online, just a background information. You can stay, or you can, maybe if you have something doing for now, in the next 10 minutes, you can go do that and come back. But I'll engage them for now, and then we can have the questions and answers after I do that. So if you are staying, no problem, you're welcome. If you also have something to do, you can just hop off and come back again, and that's fine by me. So today's live session, I structured it a bit to make a first introduction to people who perhaps do not know me. My name is Freeman. Finished UDS just like Ofori in 2018, and moved to Germany in 2020, and have been in Germany for some time now, or ever since. So in a way to give back to society, or in a way to give back to the younger ones back home, I've decided to embark on this journey with YouTube, researching on scholarships and study abroad opportunities to share with people who are interested in studying abroad. So if you are interested in studying abroad, I come online, I make videos periodically, at least every week. I make a video on various scholarships that uh, you can take advantage of. So I have videos on scholarships in USA, Europe, Germany, Netherlands, and all other places. Scholarships in all other places, Canada, and all that. I do the research. I make a video, more of a tutorial video, to share with you. So in that video, you are guided through what the scholarship is about, where to find the scholarship, and also how to do the application. So that is by way of introduction. I think Samuel will introduce himself later. So why study abroad? I think I just wanted to say some few things to why you should study abroad. One of the importance of studying abroad, it's as you grow in your intellectual self, as you grow in your academics, you need to make connections. You need to broaden your access, or broaden your wings. And one of the advantages of studying abroad is you meet people from all over the world. Everybody who you meet during that period has certain like-mindedness, and they are all thinking towards solving problems of society, and they are all from different parts of the world. And this is an opportunity to connect with them, and so that these people can be your maybe consultants, they can be your friends, they can be people that you can always consult in the future, if you need anything, or if you want to work with them, or if you even travel to their country as well. So that's one of the ways or the benefits of studying abroad. Studying abroad also unlocks opportunities. I'm sure Samuel will tell you about the opportunities that have come after studying abroad, because I mean, you are exposed to the world, and the world of opportunities, where you can have access to, I mean, everything, the information that you would never thought you would know. If you study abroad, you get to know the people that you've always been reading about. I mean, you read about certain people, their publications and all that, and you never thought that you meet them. But if you study abroad during conferences and all that, you meet the people you read about, and you can just take their emails, or you can take their card, you can make friends with them, you can already connect with them and share some opportunities. If you want to work with them, that becomes the first step to working with them. So that is one of the global, or one of the main benefits of studying abroad. And like I said, you also build some global networks. When you are in your country, Ghana, Suriname, Nigeria, you only know the people within your horizon, but when you study abroad, for example, you leave your country, Ghana, Suriname, or whatever, and you move to Germany, you move to the US, you meet people all over the world, people who you never thought you would have met, and all these people becomes your global connections. So that in the future, when you are moving to, maybe you're going to Bangladesh to do a certain project, you know that, oh, I know someone in Bangladesh, and then that is an opportunity for you to work with them. So this is one of the benefits, or one of the benefits. If I'm going to talk, I'm sure Samuel will tell you more when he takes the mic, but these are some of the things I identified. So now, by way of continuation, I want to share with you the types of scholarships. The types of scholarships we have. I mean, some people do not really know the type of scholarships that are available and where to do what and all that. And that is one of the reasons why I have the YouTube video, or the YouTube channel going, so that people can always know, okay, this is the particular scholarship and this is if I'm qualified or not. So if you come to Europe, the main scholarships are the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, which I was a benefit. Samuel was a benefit of that. So with that, you are sponsored fully. Everything is paid for. You don't pay a dime for it. You move to Europe, and because it's based in Europe, and you study in Europe in the top European universities, in the universities that you only dream about. One beautiful thing about the Erasmus scholarship is that you get to study in multiple countries, in Europe or even outside Europe. So if you are, maybe you start in Germany, your second year might be in Belgium, or your third year or your third semester might be in Spain. So you get to study in multiple European countries, and because of the EU, you have access to about 20 something countries. So one other benefit is you are given a visa. For example, if you are studying in Germany, you are given a visa for Germany, but because Germany is part of the EU, you can travel for holidays, or you can travel to all these other countries, including Croatia, Belgium, Spain, just for holidays, or to meet friends, or to collaborate, or to do anything without visa. So that's one way of tourism. You get to receive the benefits of travel. In Europe as well, we have the DAAD scholarship, which is a German-based scholarship, the DAAD scholarship. I know someone who has been a beneficiary, and is my colleague right now. So this one is given to people to come and study in German universities, and that one too, everything is paid for, but most of the time they need work experience. So if you check my page, I already explained in a video on the requirements for that scholarship and all that. We have the Chevening scholarship, which is part of the Commonwealth. So if you are a Commonwealth country, you can apply for this, and this is mainly based in the UK as well. We have the Swedish scholarship, which is also based in Sweden. We have the Commonwealth shared scholarship, and then some university-based scholarships. So these are all scholarships in Europe, and I make videos on the scholarship as and when they are open. So always check my channel to see what I have there. If you go to America, most of the scholarships in America are university-based, even though there are other scholarships as well. In America, they have a system which is the assistantship system. So you are taken as a student, but you are also taken as a research assistant or a teaching assistant, and you work whilst you study, so that you are paid for your work. So currently, I have someone who has won an assistantship in the US, in one of the universities in the US, and is paid about over $2,000 a month to study and work. So this is one of the ways of studying and funding your study in the US. In Asia, we have the mixed scholarship in Japan. We have the Chinese scholarship. These are all scholarships that I know people who are under, and they are all good scholarships. And I continue to make videos on them on my YouTube channel. So if you are on YouTube and you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and then keep in touch with my videos as I make them. Now, before I move to scholarship essays, I want to mention some of the tips that you need to know. I mean, one of the things that I think people keep making mistake is, Samuel, and you might help me here. If let's say your bachelor's degree was maybe biological sciences, or maybe bachelor's of agricultural technology, it doesn't mean that when you are applying for a master's degree, you must apply for, or you must look for a course that is agriculture technology. So it doesn't mean that if you don't see a course that is not agriculture technology exactly, you cannot do a master's in that. And that is one of the problems that I meet when people write to me. They feel like the course is not exactly the course that I want to do, and they feel like, oh, they will not fit. One of the things you have to always know is, if the course requirements, you meet them, you are qualified. Because one of the things is, every university has a name they give to their programs. So if you go to, let's say, UDS, they will call a program agriculture technology. If you go to another university, they might call it agriculture science. It doesn't mean that they are different. You have to only look at the course requirement. And one other thing is, the fact that you did a particular course in your bachelor's doesn't mean that you must continue the same thing in your master's. As you move forward, you are specializing. So you have to open your horizon. You have to widen yourself and get to know what you really want to do in this world. So if, let's say, I know someone who did agricultural technology in UDS, specialized in economics, and now they are doing fishery science, you know. So I mean, as you move forward, you have to open yourself up. You have to know what you want to really do. Open your horizon. So please don't always stick to the particular course that you did in your bachelor's. Open yourself up so that you can maybe access the wide range of opportunities that are out there. So please, this is one thing I want to send out there. You have to be an aggressive applicant. One thing people fail to identify is that there is high competition in this study abroad and scholarship opportunities. There is high competition. There are a lot of people who are vying for the same position that you want, from China, from Asia, from everywhere, from Africa, from Latin America. Everybody's applying to that scholarship because they are prestigious. I mean, imagine you are studying in Europe and you are given monthly allowance of 1,400 euros. You are not going to pay rent. You are paying nothing. I mean, this, I mean, it's something that you can't even believe, you know. But you are studying and your colleagues are working, but you are not. So please make sure that you are an aggressive applicant. You know, you don't just apply for one university and then relax and then feel like, oh, I've applied, it's fine. There are about thousands of people applying for the program. Maybe if someone will tell you the number of people who applied in his year and the fact that he was chosen, perhaps you run away. I can share that my year for my particular course, AFIPA, there were about 740 something applicants, and at the end they picked only 17 people, you know. So that is less than 10%, way less than 10%, so, or even less than 5%. So you have to be an aggressive applicant. It doesn't mean that if you apply one, you just sit down and say, oh, that's fine. You have to apply for multiple, so that at the end, when you get one of them, then you realize that all the problem you went through applying, you don't even remember anymore. So please, you have to be an aggressive applicant. Another thing I must raise is is beware of plagiarism. This is something that has kept on coming. Plagiarism, plagiarism, plagiarism. People just go online and copy people's thing. For example, the CV or the cover letter or the motivational statement, and just copy the same thing and go and submit. And now there are a lot of ways of identify whether you copy the thing or not. So please, originality. Don't copy people's work. Don't copy people's work. Try to always make your work make make the thing yourself. Okay, try and make the thing yourself. So please do not copy people's work. And then the last thing is ask questions. There are people who have studied, myself, Samuel, and the rest. They have studied abroad. They have seen all. They know all the tricks that you need to do. Ask them questions. Don't just sit down. One thing I realize about my Ghanaian people is that we don't ask questions, and I think maybe it's also due to our education. You know, we are so timid. We don't even ask anything. When we are taught anything, we just sit down. Well, do you have any question? No. I mean, like, we need to ask questions. We need to develop the spirit of asking questions. Look, no matter how stupid the question is, you need to ask, you know, so that you get answers for it. Don't assume in your head that, oh, this is what it is. No, ask questions, ask them, ask people. Go on LinkedIn. I mean, there are people I helped last year. I don't even know them. Look, there's someone from Pakistan, people from Bangladesh. They reach out to you, say, oh, I need question. I have a question on this. You are studying on this, and I also want to study. Can you review my CV, or can you review my statement of purpose? I mean, and I don't know them, but these are people who are asking questions. And Nigeria, I've helped so many people. I don't even keep track of these people. So please ask questions. Please ask questions. And lastly, before we go to the Q&A sessions, one thing Hello. Okay. Someone can you hear me? Okay. So I'm sorry. This was there was a small blip. Yeah, there was a small blip. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So like I was saying, one of the things that you need to put particular attention to is your scholarship essays. So the statement of purpose, the motivation letter, the CV, you have to really put a lot of energy in that. Because look, imagine that you are someone who is reviewing for scholarship and you have about 1,000 applicants. We are going to read the statements of all these 1,000 applicants. If you start telling them stories, they are not even going to continue with it. You need to your even your first statement should give them the opportunity to read further. It shouldn't be like, oh, immediately they read, then they are not interested. You are telling them stories about how your mother took care of you, your father, and blah blah blah. No, let hook them with something, and this is something that I'm going to take time and speak in one of my videos. So your CV, your statement of purpose should be very, very, very well crafted, so that the people would want to read. The people would want to read what you are telling them. So please beware of that. So this is something that I wanted to mention. And like I said, this video is being recorded automatically on YouTube. So if maybe you know that someone is not here at the end of the day, you can send a video to them and all that. So at this point, I wouldn't want to continue talking. I want to invite Samuel to come in and then share his tips. Samuel will introduce himself, what he does, what he did, and what he does now, and then perhaps give us some tips to studying abroad. He'll tell us where he studied and all that, and then give us his tips from his perspective and what we should look out for, so that after he finishes that, then we can start taking questions from the audience. So if you are viewing, if you have any question, you can start dropping it in the chats. Drop all your questions, all the questions that you have. Ask any question. No question is stupid, so that we can address them. So, yes, please, Samuel, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Privan. It's a great privilege. I mean, when you said this thing is live, I was like, okay, am I going to be on YouTube for I don't know how many years from now? But
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
it's always good to share our little bit of um, experience and also kind of advice to people who are looking forward to go through that kind of tradition that we also went through. And so maybe by way
sure.
of introduction, I'm Samuel Afiofori. I'm a Ghanaian. I don't know, maybe you have an international audience. So yeah, I'm a
Yes,
Ghanaian.
yes.
I'm currently based in Accra. Um, yeah, I'm currently working with an organization called One Tree Planted. What we do is to provide grants or funds to local non-governmental organizations to restore the globe. So that's what we do. I'm an African. Also, I'm a project manager for the African region. So I manage projects across different countries within Africa. So straight into the academic aspect or the academic aspect of my life is I was also a UDS student. I graduated in the same year with Freeman. I after graduation, I had a chance to do a teaching assistantship, which was for a year. For me, that was like a great opportunity to like navigate straight into further studies. So I say this because one, I had the opportunity to easily get what we call recommendation letters or reference letters from the lecturers. It was that easy compared to my colleagues who were like, maybe they were outside of the school, they were doing their NSS in a different institution or organization.
Yes.
I remember those days they would call, oh, Charlie, I'm in need of a recommendation letter from this lecturer. I've been calling him. I've been trying to reach out to the department. Can you support to get this like expedited for me and all that? So yeah, that was definitely like a great opportunity to be in that position.
Sure.
So I have very interesting experience when it comes to applying for scholarship, and I think maybe I'll just blend the tips together with my experience.
Sure. Exactly. Please do.
So,
Please do.
Yeah. So it started. Actually, my interest in study abroad started when I was in second year. I was very much inspired. I think there was one time we had a class. I think it was a class on remote sensing. So I did natural resources, just in case you want to know. I did natural resources. And then we had a class. This lecturer had studied abroad. I think he did like his PhD, probably his master's and his PhD outside, like in Europe. And he was giving a bit of his background, what he did, and how like the trajectory that he has been on until being a lecturer. And that was very inspiring. I thought, okay, if I go back to my hostel, I'm going to look for a number of courses that are relevant, particularly with respect to remote sensing.
Sure.
I mean, that course in itself was very abstract, but I was inspired. So I just went, I made a small note. I had this like a small paper notes, and I just wrote a couple of, I did research, I just wrote a couple of them. Well, I don't know where that went afterwards. But fast forward, third year, I met 3 students that came from Wageningen University in the Netherlands to come and do their master's thesis or master's research on our campus. And I happened to be in the same hostel with them. And I had a chance to be exposed to European culture, so to say. Because, well, one was a Dutch, one was a Belgian, and one was a Nigerian. So they kind of were like, oh, back in the Netherlands, this is what is happening. That made me kind of feel like, oh, okay, how about I get a chance to get into that kind of environment, just to learn, just to be able to be exposed. Already, I was feeling European life with me when I was on the UDS campus, the Akwala campus. And yeah, that was really inspiring as well. So apparently, they were, the Nigerian in particular was in a particular scholarship. I've forgotten, but I think for this university, Wagner University, there are a couple of scholarships. I think there is African scholarship for African students. There is Orange Knowledge Scholarship, OKP, something like that.
Yes.
So yeah, I was really like, okay, let me go and search. So I also started like searching around, but that was only for the Wagner University. Well, fast forward, I got to engage, and I'm trying to hinge on the fact that it's very good to have conversation around your interests with other people who have been there, because it exposes you to a lot of opportunities. So fast forward, I had a chance to again interact with a cousin who had done his master's in Germany. I think it was a DAD scholarship. So several years ago, and he had the chance to do also in Finland. And yeah, he was back in Ghana working very well. And he told me about Erasmus Mundus. I think I've heard from another person about Erasmus Mundus, but I did not really like done further research until I had a second speaking from another person. Okay, now I'm going to look. And I think that was just before my national service. So I went further to do research, and I went back to this person who told me earlier about Erasmus Mundus, and I was asking him further questions about the particular program that I was interested in. So yeah, it happened that okay, that application window was open, but then there were a couple of challenges. Some of my documents were not ready, and that in itself, and I've spoken to a couple of people. They're like, oh, I don't have this document. I don't have this document. How can I apply? And I think that is a great misunderstanding that people have about scholarship applications. You don't need to get all your documents ready before you apply.
Sure.
You know, you only need to get some relevant documents and some that are not ready. For example, your passport. You don't need to get your passport before you apply.
No.
Yet you have to be working on it. Secondly, you don't need to have endorsed or certified copies of your transcript before you apply.
No.
That in UDS, I don't know, I think for other universities too is there, where you have standard statement of results.
Yes, online, yes.
Online, exactly. So you just download it, and that's what I did. Because my transcript was already, it was only my certificate that was ready, like my academic document. My English proficiency was not ready. But I said, no, I'm going to apply for this Erasmus Mundus program. I think I applied for 2 different programs.
Yes.
And then 2 other non-Erasmus programs. So I applied for 4 programs, basically. And this particular one that was required with request for these documents, I had just my certificate. So I had some wisdom from a few people that I spoke to. One was that you can just get your statement of results endorsed at the examination office. So I went to my examination officer, asked him, can you endorse this document for me? I need to apply a scholarship and my transcript is not ready. Can you help? And yeah, he was ready to help. He endorsed it for me. I did upload that. Well, let me not spend so much time. Fast forward, I was selected for just one of the scholarship amongst the 4 that I applied. And that was really like it was a journey all the way. Speaking about maybe let me speak about how I did with my English proficiency. That also was not ready, but I had gone to the university administration to find out when I could get it, and they were like, okay, the following year, January or February, I don't remember exactly. So I came back, I wrote a letter, and then I understand it's indicating that I've gone to the administration office, and this is what they are saying. Once the document is ready, I'll make sure that it's submitted. So I hope that my application is considered. And I submitted it as part of my documents. And that was all together not perfect, but it came out. I was selected. I don't remember exact, but I think there were about 1,000 applicants. I was even marveled that I was selected. And that is something that I also want to just use the opportunity to say. You don't need to be a first-class student to apply for a scholarship. I'm just throwing out the point like that. You don't need to be a first-class. Of course, maybe you can try your best if you're a student right now. Try your best to be an upper, but that helps you to give like kind of leverage. But you don't need to be a first-class. After I was done with, or when I was like in my second year of my master's, I had a chance to coach a Nigerian who reached out to me on LinkedIn. He was a second class. And interestingly, he applied for 4 Erasmus Mundus. He got selected for 3 out of the 4.
Wow.
He was a second class student. And now he was confused. He came to me, what should I choose? And and there is that. So many people have certain kind of mindset,
misconception,
that is an opportunity. Yes, misconception that need to be broken today, if there's a chance. So that is it. I'm currently doing my PhD with my former university in Belgium. I'm in my second year. It's a whole journey. I didn't get my PhD immediately after my master's. I think it took like 2 or 3 years. So but it's really a whole journey. But as Freeman already said, you need to be determined. Like I want to get this through. Anyone who is not determined cannot get a scholarship. The scholarship is not there for people who are like very relaxed. I've met a few people. I've tried to encourage them to apply for a program. But like, oh, the documents, I don't have them. Oh, I don't think I'm qualified. Oh, this and that. And then the opportunity slips away like that. So I think I'll just edit here and then give it back to you, February.
Sure. Thank you very much. I've taken a lot, but some of the things I would like to reiterate is you don't have to be a first class student to get a scholarship, and you must not be a lazy applicant. This is something that I've been battling with people. They come, well, they come and give you all the excuses, and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't apply for you. I can guide you, I can do all the things, but I cannot apply for you. So you have to really get up and do it. I mean, you see the person abroad doesn't mean that he just woke up, took his passport, and went to Kotoka or the airport and flew. You need to really put in the work. So, like he said, look at all the things he had to go through to get all his documents to be able to do that. So you have to really put in the work, and that is very important. So we've had our first question. So Oscar, before we go to you, let's look at this question. So we have a question from Moses, who is saying that kindly give us some universities without application fees, because most of the schools application is expensive. Yes. So one thing I can say about this is, um, if you want to study in Germany, there are mostly two ways. It's either you apply through Uni Assist, and of course you have to pay a fee to have your documents assessed, or they apply on behalf of you, which is in Uni Assist. I will make a video on that. But I've made a video on studying in Germany without uh, using Uni Assist. So in this case, you only just apply directly to the university. And now German universities have started most of the universities have started adopting that process. So you just apply, and most of them there is no application fee. So I mean, you have to research on that. I have made videos on various universities, and in my video, when the university needs application fee, I'll always say it in the video. And so if you don't see application fee in there, then it means that you don't have to apply. There are also universities in the US that you, even if there are application fees requested, you can write to them with what we call the financial statement, showing that with the current financial issues in your country, you are unable to pay that amount, and most of the time they are able to waive it for you. So you have to know particularly the university you want to apply to. I have a video coming up on how to get the particular university that you want to apply to based on the program you want to study in, and that will be up very soon. So for Moses, check out the video that is coming up. I'll show you how to choose particular universities. So let's say you want to study biochemistry. I'll show you how to identify various universities in the US or Canada that study biochemistry and are also offering financial assistance. In that case, you will be able to choose the university and then check if there is application fee or not. And if there are no application fee, you go ahead and apply. But more and more universities are waiving application fee. So you have to really know which university you want to study in. So there's another question from Catherine, who is asking, when does the Erasmus scholarship open? So interestingly, Catherine, the scholarship is open now. Most of the scholarship opportunities are open now. Most of the programs are open. And if you check my channel, if you go down in this my channel, if you have subscribed or not, please subscribe if you have not. But if you go through the videos that I've made on this channel, the first video I made was on Erasmus scholarship, and I also showed you a step-by-step guide on how to identify all the programs, how to apply, and everything. So check out that video. Most of the programs for Erasmus are open now, because they open around end of September, October, November, thereabout, and then most of them close around January or February. So you have to track and then see which one. So check my channel. I have a particular video on Erasmus, and you'll be able to apply with that. There's another question here, which is saying, do you need to have IELTS to get scholarships? Practically, no, you don't need IELTS. IELTS is the International English Language Testing System. Practically, you don't need IELTS to get scholarship, because most of them have decided that if you studied your previous or if you studied in your previous university in English, then you'll be able to apply without IELTS. However, I will entreat you to write the IELTS. Why do I say so? All the in your bachelor's, all the exams and every certificates that you've written are your country-based certificates. IELTS more or less is the first international exam that you are going to write. Because if you look at previously, or maybe if you take WAEC and all those are African based, but IELTS become like the first global test that you have taken as a student. So if you have the IELTS, it boosts your chances. Because I mean, I've spoken with Oscar, might know him, Friedrich Gaspar. He's the one reviewing the AFIPA scholarships. I don't know if he's still the one doing it. And one of the things he mentioned was this about this IELTS. So if you have IELTS, it boosts your chances. However, it is not a must for you to have IELTS before you can win a scholarship. So this is something for you to then to decide if you want to write the IELTS. I know it's expensive in Ghana and all that, but if you can sacrifice some amounts, it will really help you. One disadvantage about the IELTS is that it's only valid for 2 years. So you have to really be someone who is in to apply immediately before you do. There are other ones, Duolingo or other things that are accepted, but you have to really look at what you want and the requirements from the university and the scholarship. But I would say that if you are able to write the IELTS, please do. Yeah. So for now, there is no other question. I'll invite Oscar to introduce himself and also tell us his experience with scholarships or study abroad, and then the tips that he has to give to us, so that whilst we apply, what do we look out for? So, Oscar, if you can hear me.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much, Freeman. And I am a bit inconvenient, so I will try to put on my camera, but at the moment, maybe I can't put it on.
Sure,
But
no
along
problem,
the
no
line, I will
problem,
try to put it on.
no
And
problem.
I think, Samuel, good evening. And I think we've actually met E on LinkedIn, right? I don't know if you are the one.
Yeah, Samuel Ofori. Yeah.
I think you have a couple of publications. Your recent publication was in the Science of Total Environment. Are you the one?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
correct.
Yeah, I think we've actually had a bit of correspondence before via LinkedIn.
Oh.
So
Oh
yeah,
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 Oscar Ampofu, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
I've been
nice to see
following
you.
your works, and yeah, I really appreciate. I mean, you are very hardworking, and I think you do quality research. So well done. And I was really enjoying your journey. I mean, we are all from Ghana, so some of the things he said actually applies to me. I can actually relate. But I will start from okay, so let me introduce myself. So I am Oscar. I did my bachelor's from the University of Ghana, where I majored in agricultural economics. Then after that, I worked as a student assistant. Or during my national service, I did my national service as a TA at the University of Ghana. And then I had the opportunity to study for my master's through the Erasmus Mundus scholarship in Italy and then in Germany. And then I worked at the German Institute for Development for a couple of months. And I'm currently doing my PhD at the University of Göttingen in Germany. So for me, I will start from the top to the bottom. I mean, a lot of people tell you about the struggles they go through to get these scholarships and then the stress they go through. But then they don't also tell you the enjoyment they get. I mean, one thing I tell people is one of the greatest things to have is studying with scholarship. Is
Yeah.
is it's so nice. I mean, I mean, technically, you go to school, you sleep, you wake up at the end of the month, and then bam, your stipend is in, and you are really enjoying. So, I mean, people are telling you the stress they are going through, but if you're able to go through this stress, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And for
Exactly.
example, we PhD students, we have the opportunity to travel a lot. I'm currently in UK for a research stay. Next month, I'll be going to Switzerland. I'm not saying it to brag, but I'm saying it for you people to know that the struggle is actually worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that you. I know people will be chasing people and professors for recommendation letters. You have to pay for. I think someone was talking about application fees. You have to do this. You have to write IELTS. And like you don't see. Is it like I'm going to study or something? You don't see the essence of it. But the truth is, it's more than 100% worth it. It's so nice studying with scholarship. There's no stress. You don't think about where your next rent is coming from. You don't think about where your next amount of your next money for groceries is coming from. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Saying this, there's also opportunity to also study without scholarship, and it doesn't mean if you don't get scholarship that's the end. For example, in Germany, if you don't get scholarship, there's so much ways of surviving in the country. You can work. You can decide to work the manual way, or there's also opportunities where you can work as a student assistant or somewhere. So the first call is to to try to get a scholarship. When you're applying, make sure you get the scholarship. And then I think I'll also reiterate the points that they've already said, that you have to be disciplined, you have to be hardworking. Nobody can do the application for you. Freeman was talking about his experience. I've also had experiences where someone will come to me and then, oh, Oscar, I want to apply this and this and this. Then I'll suggest some schools, go and read about it. Then the person wants you to, like, more or less spoon feed him, try to write the letter or whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
work that way.
No.
Nobody can, I can never do that, because we are all busy doing certain things, so we can only guide you. And
Yeah.
these things are your personal things. Take it as
Yeah.
your personal property. Have control over it. You are going to make the application. We are just there to give you the tips. So read about them, know where you are applying to, know the reasons you are applying to, know the scholarships those people offer, know the criteria of the scholarship, and apply it. And I think there were a couple of questions, and Freeman was trying to answer them. But then the point is, each country or each continent have their own set of criteria.
Yeah.
For example, if you're applying to Germany, you have to be mindful of the fact that, or Europe, you have to be mindful of the fact that most of the scholarships are government based.
Yeah.
So there are very few scholarships that are actually given by the university. So, for example, if you go to, I'm not saying they don't, I mean, the university don't give scholarships, but then most of the scholarships are given by the government. For example, if you go
Yeah.
to Germany,
Yeah.
it's predominantly the DAD scholarship. If
Yeah.
you go to, I think UK is the Commonwealth or the, it's mostly the. So most of these scholarships, aside your academic credentials, also look at your impact to the society, what you've done to the society. So if you've engaged in some community activity, or if you've engaged in community service, you can actually stress on those facts. If you've also worked for the government, you can actually stress on those facts.
Yeah.
I am driving towards the point that you don't need to get first class to exclusively get these scholarships, but then you can also leverage on these social
Experience.
things that exactly these social things that you've done.
Mhm.
And then if you also want to apply to, US and Canada, you also have to be mindful of the fact that these places, the scholarships are in the form of research assistant or student assistant. So much emphasis will be placed on your academic credentials.
Yeah.
So if you have, I'm not saying if you don't have first class, don't apply that, but if you have a second class, no, a second class, some of them, they jump from second class, go to second class upper. It's just last minute jump. You have to be mindful of these criteria when you're applying to, for example, US or Canada. So
Sure.
in ending, what I would like to say is these things are very stressful. It is like time consuming, resource consuming, disappointing, but it's very, very, very nice. It's very, it's there's I don't know what else, but per my experience so far, there's nothing as enjoyable as studying with scholarship. It's so
Mm.
nice. Sleep, go to lectures. At the end of the month, your stipend is in, take it, pay your rent, you have some to save or something like that. So please, if you are getting tired of these things, and if you have a very good class and you're getting tired of these things, I will entreat you to
Continue.
don't give up. Just read wide. Just try to ask people who have these experiences to guide you. And I think most of most people who have enjoyed these scholarships are very, very open-minded, and then they'll be willing to help you out. So yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and Oscar, before you go, and that is why I am doing this thing, and also have that YouTube channel. Because if you look at my videos, I do more like 60% of the work for you. So I look for the scholarship. I make a video on the scholarship. I tell you all the requirements and everything about it. The only thing that I don't do for you in the video is to apply for you. So I tell you everything about the video, and I have videos on Erasmus scholarships in the US, assistantships, Netherlands. I mean, Netherlands now is giving a lot of scholarships in their universities, I can tell you. So, so many scholarships, and the videos are all on my channel. So, please, audience, check them out. Take all the videos, watch them, ask any question under the video in the comment section, and I will attend to them. So, like Oscar said, it's painstaking, it's tiring, but if you enjoy it, if you win it, nobody will tell you. So, thank you very much, Oscar, for this insightful presentation. So for now, we want to continue with the questions. I want to continue. We would like to continue with the questions. I will try to answer them. If Oscar is still here and Samuel is still here, if you have to add with a question, or add something from in answering the question, please, you are welcome. So our next question is coming from so it says Hussein Seidu says, how much do you need to have for the whole application process till you japa? uh if you I don't understand the question completely, but I mean, some most of the scholarship applications are free. I mean, Erasmus like this, I can tell you that you don't need to I mean, I don't know if there are programs now that require application fee, but for the ones that I know, most of them are free. So you don't need to have money to apply. The only thing you need to do is scan your documents, put them all in PDF, arrange everything, have all the documents that are required by the program or the scholarship, and apply online. And then when you apply, you are chosen, then you need a passport. And that one you have to pay and apply for it. You need a flight ticket, you need, but the most important thing is getting the scholarship. If you get it, I mean, I saw someone, I spoke with someone last week who was complaining that he doesn't have, he has gotten scholarship, or full scholarship, but he's worried about flight ticket. I said, look, just start the process. Where the flight ticket will come from, it will come. You will get it. Okay. So don't worry. And the person has gotten everything. So even if it is to borrow money and then fly, and then, because when you, like Oscar said, when you receive your first stipend in your account, you money that you have, you were dreaming of getting in your country is what you receive in your account, because you receive your travel allowance, you receive your settlement allowance, and you still receive your first month allowance. And if you know how much that is, that one can clear all the debts that you've made in Ghana. So don't worry about the money. Try and do the application. One other thing, one other way of spending money would be writing the IELTS. So if you have to write the IELTS, then you have to pay to write the IELTS. I think the IELTS is £180, but based on your currency, your country currency, then perhaps you will maybe know the amount in your currency. But yeah, I think it's a static amount of £180 in the UK. So if your currency is doing well, I guess it's something that you will. So this is by way of answering that question. I don't know if the others have anything to say with this. Um,
I
yeah.
think I think I think it's also very, I mean, subjective. It
Okay.
depends on so many things. It depends on the country. For
Mhm.
example, it depends on which scholarship you got. It depends on which country you are going to. For example, I know there are certain scholarships where you are, for example, the Erasmus, you pre-finance everything and then
Yeah.
they reimburse you back. There are other scholarships where they cater for your flight, and so
Yeah.
they actually step in to help you. But
Yeah.
the point is, what I would like to put across is know what you are doing, because if you tell, okay, you need 20,000 cities or something, you can go and give it to some travel connection man or something, and then you think, okay, that is done or something. No,
No.
you can cut costs. And per my experience, I realized that if you are doing it yourself, you can cut like 60% of the cost. I remember when I
Exactly.
was doing when I was doing my application, during the visa process, someone wanted me to bribe him so that he does the visa for me. And I was like, no, I've gone through this stress and this and this and
Yeah.
this and this. Why should I pay you to apply for the visa for me? You
Yeah.
get it? So if you know what you are doing, if you go, it's all about, everything is online. And
Exactly.
there are people who are willing to help you. So just know what you are doing, read about it. If you don't understand anything, you can reach out to people who have actually decided to help others, and you can cut like 60% of the cost. But if you want to know the amount, and okay, I'm going to give it to a connection man, I'm going to give it to somebody to do it for me, then of course you'll be shortchanged. So that is what I would say. I don't know if someone has something to add.
Yeah, yeah, I think that is it. I mean, visa application. I don't even know why people use connection men to do visa application. I still cannot understand that model. Maybe because they are lazy or what. Because visa application is so it's it's so I don't know. It's so straightforward. You just need to have your documents and then you go to the embassy and apply. So why would you want someone else to do it for you, unless maybe you don't have the documents and then maybe they have a way of getting certain documents for you? But if you know what you are doing, visa application, you go there yourself and everything is online. Look, everything that you think that you are going to go through, someone has gone through and they've made a video or they've written about it. So read about it and
Hello, hi.
Hi, Oscar. I think 3 months connection is. Oh, he dropped. Oh,
So I mean, is it the one hosting all of us, or we are still live on YouTube? I don't know.
I think we are
hello.
still
He's
live.
back.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know.
No,
But yeah, we can continue. So yeah, it's still live. I think I was looking at the next question. Can you please say something about writing a good CV? What are some of the things to include and not to? So Oscar, can you say something about this if you are still online? Someone is asking about writing a good CV and things to include and not to include.
Yeah, I think for for um as I once again, this is also very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in Europe, they have this Europa CV
Okay.
where you have like there are certain paths that you have to fill. But then at this point, I don't think many of you have this very complicated CV. I don't think some of you have 20 publications. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
undermining anybody. No, no, I'm not trying to undermine anybody. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I don't have 20 publications. I don't have 50 publications. Maybe someone has. But what I'm
No.
trying to say is that
Yeah.
the basics,
Yeah.
your what do you call it? Your university, your transcript, and everything. These are the things that are important. The whole point is, for example, maybe your transcript. If you're in the university right now, what is important is your transcript, because there is less things that will differentiate a fresh university graduate from maybe Ghana, from a fresh university graduate from maybe Kenya or something, except for the transcript. You get it? Because both of you are fresh, and there's a possibility that neither of you have worked for more than 10 years or 5 years or something. So the whole point is about the transcript. So the CV is just the basic things that you have to add: your academic career, maybe your thesis, what you worked on, and
Mm-hmm.
if you have some work experience, you just highlight the experiences you have. And I think I reviewed one CV recently, and what I realized, it was very cumbersome.
Yeah.
For example, what he did, he was writing like 5 lines of what he did under
Mm-hmm.
just one I mean one employment stage or something. So you can just put in bullet points and be very, very specific, like
Yeah.
just go straight to the point with bullet points or something like that. But you don't have to write any complicated CV, because even we at the PhD level, we don't have complicated CVs. So
Mm-hmm.
just look at the basic things and then stress on your transcript and maybe your work experience, and I think you'll be fine. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that is good. So in that case, you would we always say you need an academic CV, and there is this website that I will share a video on it, and it helps you to be able to design a very good academic CV. But the Europass, of course, is very important, especially if you're applying for Erasmus. Even some of the programs will stress that your CV must be in the Europass format, and it's free online. The only thing about it is you just need to go fill in all the information, and it will create the this thing, the CV for you. So you don't need to hustle about that. So yeah, the CV is very important, but like Oscar said, you need to put the salient points there. There's another question here. It says, is one eligible to apply for Erasmus if you already hold a master's degree? Ah, Samuel, do you know the answer to this one? I think some of them, before I leave it to someone, some of them actually mention that you cannot apply if you already have a master's. Like they specifically mention it. I've seen some of them who mention it, that, or even some other scholarships that mention that you cannot apply for this program if you already hold a master's degree. Some too leave it open. So it depends on, like Oscar keeps saying, subjective. It depends on what you are applying for. But if in terms of Erasmus, and one thing about Erasmus is not just one single. Every program has its own consortium, and every program has its own rules and blah blah blah. So you have to check the program that you are applying to and what they require. And if they say that you cannot apply with uh, a master's, then you cannot apply. But some don't mention it, and maybe you'll be able to apply. So, but you have to really be sure if they allow you to apply with a master's or not. I don't know if I've answered the question. If any of the panelists have something to add with that, yeah. Okay. So I'm not seeing any other questions. We have several people, but I don't see questions. I guess they are all satisfied with. Um,
And sorry to cut you.
yeah.
And I think one thing I want to stress is we don't have only Erasmus scholarship. The reason why I think we are all referencing the Erasmus is because we all enjoy the scholarship and we have a bit of insight as to how it's applied. But there are so many scholarships. We have the DAD, we have the Como. I think Freeman has done a lot of videos on these scholarships.
Yeah, I have videos on all these scholarships. So,
Mm.
yeah, of course, it's not just the Erasmus. We are just using it as an example. There are several others, and I actually have people lined up to share their experience on different scholarships. So you would get information on that. But yeah, it's not just the Erasmus.
And I think there's also, I don't know much about it, but China is also offering a lot
Yeah,
of scholarships now. I
yeah,
don't know, but if people are interested in studying
yeah.
in China, I think it's also a great avenue for African students.
Yes, yes. I know several people who have maybe studied in China. I know my current roommate is also still in China, and it's a very good place for you to start. So if you start a master's, most of the people I know in US now, they went through China. So when you go to China, immediately you are finishing your master's, you can easily get a PhD or something else in US and other parts. So it's a good place. People feel like, oh, China, this is, but people are enjoying there. So you really have to, you have, like I say, you have to set your priorities. Someone is asking, how can we get in contact with you? So yeah, in terms of contacts, if you are if you have subscribed to my channel, you always find me there. You can ask me all the questions. You can find me also on LinkedIn. Just type my name. You can find me on Facebook with the same name you are seeing on your screen, and all other places. So yeah, you'll find me all around. Yeah. So for now, if you have a question that you want to maybe come online and then ask, I've dropped the link to join the session as a panelist. So if you want to join in yourself and then maybe ask a question face to face, then you use the link that I've put in the chat. So just tap on the link and then you'll be able to join the session. I'll put you on and then you can ask your question directly instead of typing it. So if that is what you want to do, it's open. And yeah. So for Oscar and then Samuel, I think you guys have done justice to the session. You've been on for some time now. If there's other things you are doing, fine. But if you want to still go on and then we can discuss other things, fine. But for the questions as they come in, we'll try to answer them for some more minutes, and then if there's no other, then we can end the session. Yeah, so that is it. But aside from academics, maybe I can start asking Oscar how your this thing, your PhD is going. I see that. Okay, there's a question now. So someone is asking, how does one start the whole process of scholarships? So the process is difficult. It's cumbersome. That is why I am making videos on them. So the first step, in my opinion, is to go to my channel and then look at all the videos that I've made. I've made videos on various scholarships. First, you have to decide what you want to do. Let's say the program you want to study in, the country you want to study in. So if you have these two, then when you go to my channel, you see that I have videos that are based, or videos telling you about scholarships in the US, videos telling you scholarships in Canada, in Germany, in France, in Netherlands. So you choose where you want to go and then you watch the videos. And in the videos, I give you all the information about various scholarships in that particular country and how you can start with the process. So the first process is decide what program you want to study, and also which country you want to study in, and then you watch my videos, and then you'll be able to start the process yourself. So that is what I can say about this. Yeah. So Oscar, if you are not busy, well, by the way, Ghana has been eliminated from the AFCON qualifier, so we are not going for AFCON next year. That is just by the way. So, okay, if Oscar is not yet ready, Samuel, if you have anything to add, please do.
Maybe okay. Let me just add this bit to the aspect of developing a CV.
Mm,
Probably, I hope some of the participants are currently students.
yes.
If you're a student, you have an opportunity to make your CV look good for a
Mm-hmm.
scholarship. If you are yet like to apply for a scholarship, and one thing that I can um, advise that you can do is to look for internship opportunities as much as possible. that are in relevant to the program that you are doing,
Okay.
and that can give you an opportunity to maybe outcompete someone else,
Mm-hmm.
especially if your grades are not like super good in terms of like maybe which class you are or which grade point that you have.
Okay.
I realized that internships gives those who are giving out the scholarship a kind of confidence in you that you have been trained to understand to be
Mm-hmm.
given such an opportunity. You know, when maybe I'll speak a little bit about references, but when your referees or your lecturers are asked to give a recommendation about you, one of the things that they ask these referees is, can this student withstand pressure? Can this student be able to thrive or adapt to this kind of changing maybe environment or changing maybe
Yeah.
academic structure and all that. And even yeah, they also ask about your team player skills, like all of these kind of skills that you might need to be able to do well. And one of these things, I mean, one of the opportunities I can grab is to learn these from internships. Again, it's good to be able to, if possible, and I think it's not really common in Ghana, where after your first degree you get your thesis published in a journal.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
only 2% or not 2%, only 20% of students end up
Even
publishing their
masters.
study.
Even
Even
masters.
masters,
Masters.
yeah,
How many masters people publish their thesis? Hmm.
exactly. So it's good if you like there are certain things that will help you to stand out. You know, when you realize that your grades are weak,
Yeah.
it's just like a trade-off. It's really a trade-off. These kind of scholarship applications, you see where you are weak, and then you match up with somewhere you can be strong, and then it ends up turning out well for you. Redirecting to about reference letters. You know, sometimes people think that once the scholarship says, okay, I need reference letters like 2 or 3, let me just get them and then submit. So you just maybe go to a department or a faculty, and then if they give you any reference, they just accept it. Usually, some of them are like drafted already,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just give it out to students. It is good to build a kind of relationship with a lecturer or whoever is writing this reference letters for you, to the extent that you can ask him to write something very personal, something that is very
Yeah.
unique about you that they can make it available to whoever is reviewing. Because when these reference letters are being reviewed, I mean, those who are reviewing them, they're also lecturers. They know
Yeah.
how
Exactly.
students are, and they know what it takes to be a student and all that. So if they read a reference letter and they see that it's a standard or it's a drafted, like it's coming from a very drafted place, they would know. And they just they just like
That's
outscore you something very low.
yeah.
And I remember when I got to my first year of my Erasmus journey, they sat us down. They were kind of giving us a professor who is like the director of the scholarship was giving us like the scoring, how the scoring was done. And interestingly, one of the things that they were scoring high was a recommendation letter or the reference letter. It was not even about the grades. The grades, I think, were maybe further down. But your reference letter and what else? Um, I think also your statement of purpose or motivational letter also
Yeah.
stands out because they really want to see you as a person, what you can do.
Yes.
And that is revealed not in your grades, that is revealed in your personal statement and in the recommendation letters. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's good to be able to, yeah, like take note of these things and then like emphasize them when you're applying.
Yeah. 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 I mean, very, very well spoken. These are the things that they will use to they will use to know who you are. I mean, what you write will definitely tell them who you are. So you have to really put in a lot of effort to that. So we have some questions here. Someone is asking, it says it's so difficult to get US student visa from Nigeria. Any advice? Um, wow. I think this has to do with the appointments. One thing that I can assure you is that with scholarships, sometimes it's much easier because if you receive a scholarship, sometimes your university are able to write to the embassy to give you appointments. And I know that because during COVID, when we were coming, I had a Nigerian colleague who couldn't get a visa appointment, but because it was the Erasmus scholarship, they wrote to the embassy, and he was able to get an appointment to go for the student visa. So I know it's very difficult currently in Africa. Uh, yeah, there are what's the name, opportunities to get a student visa. Some of them are very difficult. Um, yeah, even with scholarship. Wow. I mean, yeah, I don't know how this is, especially if you have a scholarship. One thing you can also do is to contact your university or international office to maybe help you with the embassy. So if that is also not working, I know of some people who travel to other places to apply for student visa. For example, if you are Nigerian, you can travel to Ghana to apply. And also with, if you, let's say you are Ghanaian, if you get a scholarship that is based in Belgium, Ghanaian in Ghana, we don't have Belgium embassy currently. I think it's only a consulate. So what happens is that you go to Cote d'Ivoire to apply for the visa. So I know of people who have traveled to other countries to apply for visas. So yeah, it depends on your case. You have to do some research about it. Go online and check and see those who are have had similar experience as you, and then perhaps you'll be able to um, maybe navigate that. But for now, I don't know how I'm going to do that.
I think, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I think maybe, as Freeman said, this is more bureaucratic. This is more of an
exactly.
institutional problems that I don't even, sometimes even the professors who give you the scholarship cannot help. Yeah,
Hmm.
so maybe I think there's also a possibility to be fair for the next opening. So I think that is an opportunity
Yeah,
that you can also look at, but it's it's a very technical thing. So
yeah,
I,
yeah,
yeah, visa. I mean, how you get an appointment, how you get a visa,
yeah.
they are all about probabilities. So yeah,
Exactly. But one thing I know about Erasmus is that when you get Erasmus scholarship, they are able to write to the embassies to give you special treatment. And that one, this guy, my friend, my Nigerian friend, the colleague that I had, he had that special treatment
I
because he
actually
couldn't.
also, sorry,
Mhm.
please. I actually also had the special treatment because I traveled through Italy, and from what I don't know if, I mean, it's been a long time ago. I don't know
Yeah,
if it has changed, but um, we they don't usually have interviews, but
yeah,
because they wanted to facilitate the whole thing for us,
hmm,
myself and another lady who were on the scholarship,
yeah,
they actually did us some. It wasn't more. It was more like a familiarity something,
yeah,
and then after that we got their visas
yeah,
after a couple of days. So
yeah,
if you have, I mean, the whole point is getting a scholarship. If you get a scholarship, you are like 95% through, because the truth is they are really scared about how you're going to finance your studies and how you're going to take care of your living expenses and these things.
hmm,
And also the fact that maybe you come here and you won't study, maybe you go and do something else. So
yeah,
if you have the scholarship, then there's this certainty that, one, you can finance yourself, you not be a burden on anybody, and two, you are genuinely coming to study.
yeah.
So if you apply, you also have to look out for the scholarship opportunities.
Sure. And yeah, to buttress this, there is one thing that I would also say, there are some countries too, they don't want you to use like we say, virgin passports to enter their country. So if let's say you have never traveled to any country, there's no stamp on your this thing, your passport, and then it's the first time you are traveling, you are coming straight to those countries, especially if you are coming to sponsor yourself, like Oscar said, they are not sure if you are really coming to study or not. So sometimes what people do is that they travel to other countries, get a certain visa to show that they have some travel experience, and then it also facilitates them maybe getting the visa. That is just by the way. um, there was a question someone asked me before this session, and they wanted to know about self-funding. If you have your money, let's say you want to do a master's in any program and you have the money already, one of the countries I would really suggest you come and study in is Germany. I'm not doing advert for Germany, but it's something. It's a place that I think has a lot of advantage. One of the reasons is that when you are studying in a country, you have to look at what opportunity exists after you are done with the study. Do you want to come and study and maybe go back to your country and then maybe continue work like Ofori, Samuel and Co? Or do you want to stay back and work? Do you want to explore other opportunities? You have to look at all the possibilities. And I think Germany is a place where if you are able to study in Germany, you are given some time to look for a job after you are done. And then it also gives you that kind of leeway for you to navigate where you want to go. I mean, there are people who, after finishing that, they didn't take up that opportunity. They moved to other countries. Some went back to their countries. It's all personal, but you have to also look at the opportunities that exist after you study. And like I said, in Germany, if you want to do self-funding, the main thing you need is your blocked account. So if you want to fund yourself, you need to have about 12,000 euros in your account, and this is an assurance to show that you can fend for yourself when you come into the country. So if you apply for the admission, you get everything. You need to prove at the embassy that you can fund yourself, and you need about 12,000 euros in your account to do that. So if you want to fund yourself, that is one way to show that you can fund yourself. There's another way that I've made a video on, is the obligation letter or the letter of obligation. So that's one. If you know someone in Germany, a family member who is living and working in Germany and has a very good job, a very good financial standing, the person can give you what we call a sponsorship letter or the letter of obligation. And that will be a letter to show that the person will be able to cover your financial expenses when you come and study in Germany. So with that, you will not need that 12,000 euros. You will not also need a scholarship, but the person really has to have a good financial standing. And when the person does the application, they will definitely check the person's what's the name? They'll check their finances, they check the jobs they do and everything before they can give that document. So you have to really be sure of the person and also close to the person, especially because people really don't want to do that for people they don't really know. So this is just tips for those who want to study and sponsor themselves. In terms of US and Canada, I mean, I know people who have partial scholarships who have gone to US, people who have money, they can just show their family's financial standing and they are able to get a, you can apply directly without seeking scholarship and then go. So this is something I just wanted to pass through. Apart from, yes, and for Canada and US, apart from the assistantships that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship is currently looking like it's competing with the Erasmus. It's a very good scholarship. I know two people who have had that, one in France and another in Cambridge. She just started, I think, some few weeks ago. So she's doing a master's in Cambridge University. So, I mean, you have to search out, and I've made videos, several videos on those scholarships as well, the MasterCard and others. So please check those out. Any tips on writing a good SOP? There are several tips. One thing I always say is that if you want to write a very good statement of purpose, you have to identify a problem in where you are and write about how you're going to solve the problem. One of the basic things is that you don't blab about anything. First, try and identify a problem based on your experience, and try to see how the masters or the program you're going to study will help you solve that problem. Period. I mean, the others can add that, but in my experience, the statement of purpose I've seen from people, if you are able to identify a problem, because your studies is all about problem solving. So if you are able to identify a problem in your situation, let's say you did nursing, maybe you identify a problem in the health sector in Ghana, maybe in terms of maternal mortality or maternal care or blah blah blah, then you feel like, okay, so the masters that you are going to study would help you, maybe give you the knowledge to be able to solve this or be an advocate for this, that, and then mention tangibles. Some people just say, oh, I worked in this in this company. That's all. You have to tell them what you did in the company. You don't just say, oh, I worked in the cocoa sector in Ghana, and then you have to tell them what you did, what role you played, and what are the things you achieved when you were working there. So these are all the things that you need to bring. I've made a video on that as well, but I'll make another video with a practical statement of purpose to show an example on how to write a very good one as well. There's
And
one question. Yeah, Oscar.
to add, I think you have to tailor the statement of purpose to fit whatever you're applying for.
Sure.
I mean, there are generic statement of purpose out there. You just don't go and pick it and
Mhm.
then start spreading it to other applications. That
Yes.
is why these are, yeah, it's very time consuming. So you have to really tailor it. For example, if you're applying, you have to tailor it to fit, as said, after identifying the problem, try to tailor it to fit the interest of maybe the professor that you are applying to, or the faculty you're applying to. And I think, as he said, one trick is that, especially if you're applying to these university and these consortiums that I mean, that gives that whose scholarships are from the country, for example, the
Yes.
GAD or the
Mhm.
Erasmus. Try to paint a picture that
Yes.
you want to give back to the society. I mean, after you can decide to run away from that, but their whole, aside your academic credentials, they are also much interested in how you give back to the society. That is some of the
Exactly.
problems that he's trying to solve. So try to paint the picture that you really care. Of course, we all care about the society, but try to stress on that you care about the society. And aside the fact that you want to build yourself and enlighten yourself and create opportunities for yourself through these studies, you also want to give back to the society and try to improve certain things that are happening
In
in
your
the
country.
society. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That perfect. There's one other question here. It says, I want to go to Kentucky University, USA. How do I go about it? Um, so in this question, I guess you mean you want to go and study in the Kentucky University. So you have to first identify what program you want to study. Go to Kentucky University website and see if they are offering that program, and then apply for admission in that course. And then if you apply for admission, if they have assistantships available, you get an assistantship, then it helps you to get your visa, and then you go. If you also have the money to sponsor yourself, perfect. You get your bank statement and all that, and then you just need to get your admission from the university, and then you apply for visa. It's very easy. But first, identify what program you want to do. Go on the Kentucky University website and then find a program if that is exactly, or if they are offering that program, and then you'll be able to apply. So it's very easy to do that. Christopher. Yeah. So I think for now there's no other question. I don't see any other question being asked. I don't also see anyone joining the live to ask a personal question. So um, for now, I think we have elapsed or consumed all the questions that have come. We've also given all the advice we can give. One thing I'll say is that I'll continue to host this live session. Uh, so one thing I'll continue to do is to host this live session, perhaps monthly, and from now on, I'll bring people who, let's say, I have I've studied in various scholarships, like I did today, to come and share their experience. Sometimes I'll make live session for us to catch up, and then maybe if you have any challenge with applying for scholarship or doing that, then we can solve that. We can help solve the problem online here. So I'll keep hosting these live sessions as and when I get the time, so that we can continue to discuss how to help people. I see one other question here. They're saying that, oh, I see. Thank you very much. Does the US also accept letter of obligation? None that I am aware of. I don't know if they accept that. Samuel, do you know if they do? Oscar, do you know if they do? But to my knowledge, I don't know if they accept any letter of obligation.
No, I'm not familiar with not
Yeah.
familiar with that.
Okay. Okay. So I'll yeah, this question I'll ask about it. I'll research about it, and then perhaps I'll make a video about it, Christopher. So please watch out, check my YouTube channel. And please, all those online, if you have not subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button. If you have subscribed you see a bell button, the notification button, click on it, and then so that anytime I drop a video, you receive a notification that I've dropped a new video, and you can watch. You can be the one of the first people to watch. So if you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and if you have already subscribed, to click on the bell button, um, and then you receive notifications whilst I drop the video, so that you can be one of the first people to watch the videos. So yes, I think we have done all what we're supposed to do today. We've answered all the questions, we've shared our experiences. Like I said, I'll continue to host this live as and when I get the time, and I'll bring different people to speak as well. So I want to say a very big thank you to Oscar and to Samuel for making the time. I know we are very busy PhD people there. You're always thinking about your work, but you took time and over 1 hour and to speak to us and share your experience. So thank you very much, Oscar. Thank you very much, Samuel, for coming online to share your experiences. And I hope if I call on you next time, you'll be able to make time again, maybe sometime later. But thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in your studies and everything. Yeah, maybe your last words. You are muted. Oh, sorry.
I think this is. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is good. It's a very good thing that you're doing to help other people get much more of knowledge and exposure to get to apply these kind of scholarships. Usually, the main hindrance for people not to get this kind of scholarship is because there is the lack of information and the lack of understanding. So
Sure.
it's not about qualification. Qualification might be some a different kind of limitation, but yeah, I think the foremost is because people don't really know what is in there. So this is very good. I'm always ready to support whenever there's a need, and
Mhm.
yeah, I wish you also all the best, and yeah, all the best to those who also joined. I hope that each one gets the opportunity to get the scholarship that he or she wants to apply or currently is currently
Sure.
applying for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. 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 Oscar, if you are there,
Yeah, I just speak for just a minute and I leave. So thank you
sure.
very much. I think you're doing a very good job, and it's also a privilege to join and to meet Samuel for the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we've been saying, try to be determined, try to be disciplined, and know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Sure.
You can apply today, you won't get it. You can apply 3 times and you can get a rejection on the same day. It's highly
Mm-hmm.
possible. But
Okay.
then don't give up. Just continue to apply and continue to read wider. And also try to improve yourself as you apply. If you apply this year and you don't get it, if you have the possibility to publish your work, try to do it. Any way you can improve yourself academically for this is, yeah. And yeah, we all know the kind of country we live in, Ghana. A lot of people want to run away. And in my opinion, one of the easiest ways to leave the country is through is through the educational route, and it's always there's the icing on the cake if you get a scholarship. So yeah, I wish everyone the best. If there's any additional questions and you reach out to Freeman, I think he can also reach out to us. So yeah, have a nice evening. Yeah, Freeman is locked. Okay, Samuel, nice meeting you. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Oscar. We connect some more.
Sure, bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, so I think we had a little blip, but we are back. And everyone, yeah, so thank you very much finally for joining. And please keep up applying, keep on applying, and keep pushing. And I'm sure that you'll be successful. So my doors keep on opened. Please send me all questions if you have any question. S- Comment under all the videos that I have. Keep watching the videos, keep sharing them, and then yeah, I wish you all the best. So see you another time.